Raider Nation, buckle up. A blockbuster trade just shook up our Las Vegas Raiders, and we've got all the juicy details to unpack. Did you hear the bombshell? The Silver and Black sent cornerback Jacorian Bennett to the Philadelphia Eagles for defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV. Yeah, you heard that right. A straight-up player swap that's got fans buzzing and social media on fire. Why did this happen? What does it mean for our Raiders? And how's Raider Nation feeling about this move? Let's dive into this trade, break it down, and figure out what's next for our beloved team. Stick with me, because this is going to be a wild ride. First off, let's set the stage. The Raiders are in the middle of a pivotal offseason, with new head coach Pete Carroll steering the ship. The goal? Build a defense that strikes fear into opponents and brings that classic Raider swagger back to Las Vegas. Jacorian Bennett, a 2023 fourth-round pick out of Maryland, was a fan favorite last season. The dude was locking down receivers, posting a stingy 52.3% completion rate against him and a passer rating of just 67.7 when targeted, according to Pro Football Focus. But here's the kicker. Despite his breakout 2024 season, Bennett was running with the second and third teams in training camp. What's up with that? Was it his 5'10" frame not fitting Carroll's love for taller corners? Or is there something bigger brewing in the Raiders' defensive scheme? Let's talk about it. What do you think pushed Bennett out of the starting lineup? Now, let's zoom in on the trade itself. The Raiders shipped Bennett to Philly for Thomas Booker IV, a 25-year-old defensive tackle who played all 17 games for the Eagles last season, racking up 18 tackles and a sack. Booker, a 2022 fifth-round pick by the Houston Texans, was buried on Philly's stacked D-line depth chart behind stars like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. This trade comes hot on the heels of the Raiders' shocking release of Christian Wilkins, who's still tangled in a contract dispute over a Jones fracture injury from last season. Booker's arrival gives the Raiders much-needed depth at defensive tackle, where guys like Adam Butler and Jonah Laulu are currently holding down the starting spots. But here's the question, Raider Nation. Is Booker the answer to fill Wilkins' massive shoes? Or are we gambling big here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. So, what's the vibe in Raider Nation? Social media is a mixed bag. Some fans are hyped, others are straight up baffled. One ex-post screamed, "Wait, the Raiders traded Jacorian Bennett? What are they doing?" Another fan pointed out, Bennett's speed and coverage skills are legit, but at 5'10", he doesn't fit Carroll's vision. Trading him for a fourth-string DT is wild, though. On the flip side, some see this as a win-win. Booker gets a fresh start to compete for a starting role, while Bennett joins a Super Bowl champ Eagles squad to battle for the CB2 spot opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Raider Nation, are you team this trade rocks? Or team, what were they thinking? Hit the comments and let's get this debate going. All right, Raider Nation, let's keep this train rolling. We're diving deeper into why the Las Vegas Raiders made this bold move to trade Jacorian Bennett for Thomas Booker IV. This isn't just a roster tweak. It's a statement about where our team is headed. The Raiders are reshaping their defense, and this trade is a puzzle piece in a much bigger picture. But is it the right piece? Let's break down the strategy, the stats, and what this means for our Silver and Black. Grab your coffee, your beer, or whatever keeps you hyped, because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty. Let's start with Jacorian Bennett. This guy was a revelation last season. In just 10 games before a torn labrum sidelined him, he racked up 26 tackles, 8 pass deflections, and allowed 0 touchdowns. 0? That's elite-level coverage for a second-year player. According to ESPN, quarterbacks targeting Bennett had a passer rating of just 62.4, and he gave up a measly 9.8 yards per reception. So why trade a guy who was balling out? Word from training camp is that new coach Pete Carroll prefers taller corners like 6' Eric Stokes and 6'2" rookie Darian Porter, who've been eating up first-team reps. Bennett, at 5'10", might have been the odd man out in Carroll's vision for a bigger, more physical secondary. Raider Nation, do you think size matters that much at corner? Or did we just let a gem slip away? On the other side of the deal, Thomas Booker IV brings some serious potential to the Raiders' D-line. The dude's got experience. 17 games with the Eagles last season, including 4 playoff appearances with the Super Bowl champs. He's not a household name yet, but his 18 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 sack show he can hold his own. With Christian Wilkins gone, the Raiders' defensive tackle room is wide open, with guys like Lecky Fodu, Zach Carter, and rookies Tonka Hemingway and J.J. Pege all vying for snaps. Booker's got a legit shot to climb the depth chart and make an impact. But here's the burning question. Is a rotational DT worth trading a proven cover corner? Tell me, Raider Nation, are we building a stronger D-line or just plugging holes? The reaction on X is wild. Fans are split down the middle. One post said, Booker's a solid pickup for the Raiders D-line, but giving up Bennett for a guy who barely played in Philly? Ouch. Another fan fired back. Bennett's good, but he's injury-prone. Booker's young, hungry, and fits our need. Smart move. The trade's got everyone talking, and that's what makes being a Raiders fan so electric. We love our team, we argue, we cheer, we cry, but we're in this together. So what's your take? Is this trade a step toward a dominant defense? Or are we shaking things up just for the sake of it? Drop your hot takes below, and let's keep the Raider Nation convo alive. Raider Nation, we're not done yet. This Jacorian Bennett for Thomas Booker 4 trade is a roller coaster, and we're hitting the big loops now. The Las Vegas Raiders are making moves that have us all scratching our heads and pounding our chests. What's the long-term plan here? How does this trade fit into the grand scheme of our 2025 season? Let's dig into the bigger picture, sprinkle in some stats, and see if we can crack the code on what the silver and black are cooking. Get ready. This one's going to spark some serious debate. The Raiders' defense is under a microscope this offseason. After letting go of Christian Wilkins, who's now fighting the team over $35.25 million in contract disputes. Per AP News, the D-line needed a boost. Enter Thomas Booker 4, a 6'3", 301-pound mauler who's got the size and smarts to clog up the middle. Last season, he played 17 games for Philly, logging 262 defensive snaps and showing flashes of disruption with 2 quarterback hits and a sack. With Jonah Laulu and Adam Butler currently atop the depth chart, Booker's got a real shot to compete for a starting gig. But let's be real, losing Wilkins, a proven Pro Bowler, stings. Can Booker step up and help anchor this line? Or are we banking too much on potential? What's your gut telling you, Raider Nation? Meanwhile, Jacorian Bennett's departure leaves a gap in our secondary. The guy was a playmaker. 58 combined tackles and 11 passes defensed over 24 career games, per UPI.com. His speed and instincts made him a fan favorite, but injuries have been a nagging issue. A torn labrum ended his 2024 season early, and he's had to fight the injury-prone label. In Philly, he's stepping into a heated battle for the CB2 spot opposite Quinyon Mitchell, with Adoree Jackson and Khalil Ringo in the mix. The Eagles lost big names like Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers in free agency, so Bennett's got a golden opportunity to shine. Raider Nation, are you rooting for Bennett to ball out in Philly, or are you bummed we let him go? Let's hear it. The buzz on X is relentless. One fan posted, Raiders trading Bennett for a backup DT is a head-scratcher. We're thin at CB already. Another countered, Booker's a grinder, and our D-line was desperate. Bennett wasn't starting anyway. Trust the process. This trade's got us all fired up, and that's what makes Raider Nation the best fan base in the NFL. We're passionate, we're loud, and we're not afraid to call it like we see it. So, let's keep this energy going. Hit the comments with your predictions. Will Booker be a steal for our D-line? Is Bennett going to haunt us in Philly? And most importantly, are you still all in for the silver and black? Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with every Raiders fan you know. Raider Nation, it's time to wrap this up, but the fire's still burning. The Las Vegas Raiders trade of Jacorian Bennett for Thomas Booker 4 is a game changer, and we've got one last deep dive to tie it all together. This move isn't just about 2 players. It's about the identity of our team and the future of our defense. Are we building a squad that's ready to dominate in 2025, or are we taking a risky gamble? Let's break down the final pieces, look at the bigger implications, and get you hyped for what's next. Silver and black forever. Baby, let's do this. Let's talk about the Raiders' defensive strategy. Pete Carroll's arrival has brought a new vibe to Vegas, and his preference for bigger, physical corners is shaking things up. with Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, and second-year man Decamarion Richardson getting first-team reps. The Raiders are clearly prioritizing size and length in the secondary. Bennett's departure, as tough as it is, signals a shift toward a defense that can bully receivers at the line and dominate in press coverage. But here's the rub. Our secondary's already thin, especially with injuries like safety Lonnie Johnson Jr.'s broken fibula, per Heavy.com. Trading a proven cover guy like Bennett could backfire if our young corners don't step up. Raider Nation, are you buying into Carroll's vision, or is this a risky bet? On the D-line, Thomas Booker IV's addition is a calculated move to shore up a unit that's been rocked by Wilkins' exit. The Raiders' first unofficial depth chart lists Laulu and Butler as starters, with Lecky Fotu, Zach Carter, and rookies like JJ Pegay in the mix, per UPI.com. Booker's experience, 27 career games, 33 tackles, and 1.5 sacks, gives him a leg up to compete for a key role. His time with the Eagles' stacked D-line means he's learned from the best, but can he translate that to Vegas? The Raiders are banking on him being a diamond in the rough, especially with a wide-open competition at DT. What do you think, Raider Nation? Can Booker be the disruptor we need, or are we reaching here? As we close this out, let's reflect on what it means to be a Raiders fan. This trade's got us hyped, frustrated, and everything in between, but that's what makes this fan base special. We ride or die with the silver and black, through every high and every low. X-posts are still lighting up, with one fan saying, "Raiders gonna Raider," always making bold moves. Another added, "Bennett's gonna kill in Philly, but I'm rooting for Booker to prove the haters wrong." This trade's just the beginning, Raider Nation. The 2025 season's coming, and we've got a team to cheer for. So let's keep the faith, keep the passion, and keep the convo going. Like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more Las Vegas Raiders news, and share this with every diehard fan you know. Let's go Raiders!